But they cannot be fought with weapons, I said. I explained to Haku that the white man's weapons were far more powerful than anything he had ever seen, and that his only means of salvation was to create a fiction. A story? Haku asked. Yes, I replied. Send a group of men, some bearing injuries of battle, to Acapa. They can tell the Friar Marco that the Sunnis killed Estebanico. Haku laughed. Why do you want us to tell him we killed you? Do you think your tall tale is going to frighten this man away? It was the tall tale that brought him here in the first place, I said. Nothing else, I was certain, would put a stop to Father Marco's advance. I wanted the friar to go back to Coronado with the news that not only had he found no gold in the northern territories, but the fierce Indians of Hawiku had repelled his mission and killed Estebanico in the process. The servants of the empire would forget about the 7 cities of gold. The people of Hawiku would be safe. Estebanico would be laid to rest, but Mustafa would remain, free to live a life of his choosing. What if the white man of Acapa does not believe your story? Aku asked. He will, I said, if the messengers know how to tell it. Aku said that he had to consult with the tribe's elders before he could make a decision. All the Indians I had met in this continent decided their affairs by consultation, so this did not surprise me. It was a practice I admired, though I hoped the cacique would make up his mind soon, because the friar was only 3 weeks away from the gates of Hawiku. Whatever Aku decided, Oyamaso and I would leave in the morning and begin our journey home to the land of the Ababares. We would live out our lives among her people, following the routes her ancestors had taken for centuries, hunting where they had hunted, foraging where they had foraged, trading where they had traded. Our child, too, would learn these traditions. He would learn to welcome guests and fight intruders. Above all, he would learn not to put his life in the hands of another man. Oyamaso's hand was on my cheek. What story should I tell our child? She asked. I remembered the stories my mother had told me so often when I was a young boy. I had taken them with me when I crossed the ocean of fog and darkness. I had fed on them in the terrible years of deprivation, and I had used them to find my way whenever I was lost. I told them when I needed comfort or when I wanted to give it to others. The words pressed themselves against my lips now, begging to come out. I wanted to tell a story to my child so that he might share the joy or the pain it contained, that he might learn something from it, that he might tell it after my death or after his mother's death, even if only to pass the time. I wanted to tell him a story that he might remember me. And in this relation, I tried to tell the story of what really happened when I journeyed to the heart of the continent. The servants of the Spanish Empire had given a different story to their king and their bishop, their wives and their friends. The Indians with whom I lived for 8 years, each one of them, each one of thousands, have told yet other stories. Maybe there's no true story, only imagined stories, vague reflections of what we saw and what we heard, what we felt and what we thought. Maybe if our experiences, and all of their glorious, magnificent colors, were somehow added up, they would lead us to the blinding light of the truth. To God belong the East and the West. Whichever way you turn, there is the face of God. God is great.